Despite beating the Pelicans last night, the Nets still got some bad news to deal with. James Harden had a setback on his hamstring recovery, and the team announced that he'd be out indefinitely. Brooklyn head coach Steve Nash was equal parts frustrated and understanding, saying the process was, quote, back to square one. We'll rehab him and get him back whenever we can, and who knows when that will be. Hopefully that comes sooner than later, but there's no guarantee. So, Shannon, how big of a blow is this for the Nets?
It's a huge blow, Skip. It's a big deal, very, very big deal. Because, you know, the playoffs are 4 rounds, Skip. And you know what hamstrings, you know how they are. They are so tricky. They feel great one day. You might go 2-3 days, they feel great. And you make the least sudden movement, the sudden start-stop, and it grabs. And you and I both know, normally when hamstring grab in the playoffs, you're done. Ask Magic. Ask Byron Scott. It ended them when they played the Pistons that last.
I was there at courtside.
It was over, Skip.
And I threw up my hands and said, well, that's the end of that deal.
That's it.
I came all the way to Detroit for this.
That's what you went all the way for that. And look, we know if they're healthy, they're going to be a tough out because they got 3 guys on a given night. Either one can get you 50, and 2 of the 3 can get you 35, and all 3 of them can get you 25 plus and make your night miserable. And then when they're driving and doing what they're doing, they can kick the Shamet. They can kick the Joe Harris.
Yeah.
They got other guys that can make you pay for trying to double them. But, Skip, this is huge. And what we're seeing is because the season was so condensed, you're playing so many games, and the body doesn't get a full chance to recover. Think about it. Harden, KD, Dame, Kawhi, Bron, AD, Giannis have all missed significant time. But you knew this was going to happen, Skip. That fast turnaround, condensing the season, guys playing 30, 40, go double overtime. You're going to play 45, 47 minutes, and this is what you get. But this is a big deal. This is a big deal because not only is Harden, he might not be back, Skip, until the start of the playoffs. KD, we don't know when KD had a hamstring that kept him out 2 months, and now he got a thigh contusion. So he might be out for another week or 2. They're not getting out of the East with just Kyrie. Kyrie's been sensational, but Kyrie can't get them past Philly. He can't get them past Milwaukee by himself. They need these guys.
Are you sure there's not a little wishful thinking operating under your surface?
No, Skip. I want everybody, because I hate when guys get hurt and you like, well, what would have happened? KD, Achilles, Klay Thompson's knee. Skip, what would have happened? Do we believe Toronto would have really beaten Golden State if KD's healthy? I like to have answers. Everybody played. Everybody was at their best. That team won 4 games. Your team didn't. Without James Harden, and if he's back, Skip, is he going to be able to go 100% with that hamstring? Because I don't know.
Okay, usually I would go along with you on big deal, but in this crazy season, yet another pandemic-impacted season, it is not a big deal to me because everybody is racked by pandemic issues.
Right.
That they're related to pandemic because the season got squeezed together.
So who the healthiest might be determined who wins the title.
I don't know who will be. That's from the injury gods. I don't know. But I get you about hamstrings. I hate all this. I don't like to talk about it. I'm going to knock on my wood over here. I don't like to wish this upon anybody because when the words are spoken, they somehow get spoken into existence.
Right.
I don't want to see any more injuries. I tried to watch the Clippers at Portland last night, and I sat back after a couple of minutes and I said, no Kawhi, no Ibaka. No Dame, no Nurkic. What am I supposed to make? What credibility am I supposed to read into the outcome of this game?
Right.
Paul George was sensational down the stretch. Okay, and it meant what?
Right.
It just meant that they won another game and stayed afloat up there near the top of the West.
Right.
Okay? The Nets. Am I going to write them off because of this? No, I'm not, because they are 39-19, and I don't know how they're 39-19. That's a deep basketball team.
Yeah.
And they're a half game back of Philly for the top of the East. Well, I'm not going to be surprised if they wind up number 1 in the East. They get the number 1 overall seed. Will that matter? Well, not if they don't have 2 of their 3.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But if they do have 2 of the 3, I'm not going to write that off.
Right.
And when they have had 3 of 3, it's only been 7 games, they've been sensational. we have never, ever seen this kind of three-man firepower on one basketball
Not
team.
their prime.
And we have also never seen a better fit of three-man firepower because it is all peace and love. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I can read body language on the court.
Right.
They are really having fun playing together. And they fit because Kevin is not a dominating ego. He does not need the basketball to score his 30. He is as efficient a scorer as you will ever see. Just give him 15, 16 shots, and he'll get you 30 points.
Right.
And Kyrie, you mentioned earlier in the show, he was just special last night down the stretch. You want to talk about clutch? He just was like, get out of my way.
Right.
I got this. Against a loaded team that's playing below its what it should be, but it was at New Orleans.
Right.
And Kyrie said, I got it.
Right.
James, on many given nights, just said, I got it.
Right.
Kevin comes back, and all he does is make shots when he came back. The other night, when he took the knee in the thigh, he had just made 3 out of his first 3 shots, right?
Yep.
What's not to love about this team, even if they get, let's just do this. What if they play no more games together, and whatever game number 1 of the playoffs is the next time those 3 play together, but they're healthy?
Right.
What if they're healthy?
That's the key, Skip.
Okay, if they're healthy, you better look out.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Because I'm not sure they need any more repetitions. I just don't know if they do.
I think the biggest thing is, Skip, that if you get the 1 seed, you're going to avoid Milwaukee in the second round.
Okay.
And so I think that's what they really want. And that way you deal with Philly. Because it's going to be, and that's the thing. But you mentioned health. I forgot. Embiid missed 18 games with an injury. So the question is, Skip, this might be a situation where whomever the health is.
And by the way, Joel's always got something. If it's not an injury, it's his stomach ache, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And am I sure about LeBron's health going? I'm going to knock on wood for it. I'm not sure about it.
Right.
Am I sure about AD? I'm less sure about AD than I am about LeBron.
Right.
But if you tell me both are healthy all the way home, you got a great shot.
Absolutely.
Okay. Am I sure about Kawhi coming back full strength? No.
Right.
Well, what's going on with Ibaka? He's missed like 18 games with a back injury.
Right.
Well, how about back injuries? Yeah. Sometimes I think I would qualify back injury as more serious than hamstring.
Oh yeah, well, you ain't moving that back. Okay. That back hurting. Ask Scottie Pippen about his back.
Okay.
Skip, you remember how he was dragging around that last finals?
What am I supposed to do with all this?
Yes.
Right?
And Skip, these are, look, I can understand, Skip, these are your stars and stars. Everybody that's on this list was an all-star. Every last player was an all-star.
All-star.
The only superstar that hasn't missed any game is Yoke. Everybody else has missed games.
And now he doesn't have his running.
Right. He's like without Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Skip, I think, but because it's an injury and they thought he was back. I mean, so they gave him 2 weeks, and then he had a setback on his comeback. Yeah. So now he's down another, what, they got 13, 14 games left, Skip? So we're looking at another 3 weeks into the season. So he might not be back into the playoffs. How do you condition? And remember, I thought that was a problem because I thought James Harden didn't come in the condition that he needed to. But when you play in 45 minutes, and we was giving him credit, like, man, he played all those minutes because he was leading the NBA in minutes played.
He was. And he was balling fat.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yes.
He's got a little punch, and he's just balling. He's just running up and down the floor like he can run all night.
Yes.
I think he was born conditioned. Seriously.
These injuries, we do not need anymore. I like what you say, Skip. We're not going to talk about it. We don't want to speak it into existence. I'm going to knock on some more wood around us. We don't need any more. No more for right now. Guys, could Tom Brady have been the GOAT in another sport aside from football? One Hall of Famer has some interesting quotes. Shannon, listen up next.